achieving excellence in kingdom businesses. There are two things we need to answer, two questions. One is, what is excellence? Excellence is the spirit of doing better than expected. Excellence is the spirit of doing better than ordinary. Excellence is progressive performance. Performance that is growing from one level to the other. Excellence has an element of growth. You can never say you are excellent when your performance is stagnated. Excellence is wanting to perform today better than you did yesterday. Excellence, brothers and sisters, is a measure of your performance, not against other people's performance, but against your own potential. A gentleman that I love reading from a lot, called Ernest Hemingway, correctly says that there is nothing noble in being superior to a fellow man. True nobility lies in being superior to your former self. When you seek to be excellent, you stop comparing yourself to other people. You stop comparing your business to that of your neighbor, and you begin focusing on your business, and you begin wanting to see your business perform today better than it did last year. The next question we need to answer is, what is a kingdom business? Kingdom businesses are businesses whose owners and leaders are mindful of God's ownership of the business. Remember, when we speak about stewardship, we acknowledge that everything belongs to God. We are only stewards of what He has put under our care. Therefore, kingdom businesses, their owners believe that those businesses belong to God. They also seek to be guided by the Holy Spirit. They also aspire to live by Christian principles, and they want their businesses to manifest Christian business practices. 7 tips on how to achieve excellence as a kingdom business person. Number 1, for you to achieve excellence in kingdom business, you must have a positive attitude. The Old Testament reading, Genesis 13, began by mentioning how Abraham was a wealthy person. Indeed, he is known of being wealthy and dealing in livestock, silver and gold. Now, we were ushered into a scenario where Abraham and his nephew Lot were all blessed, and they all had a lot of possessions. They were wealthy. But a time came when there were wrangles between their camps. The land they were in became small for the two of them. And a time came when Abraham, that time before he became Abraham, when he was still Abram, decided that they needed to go separate ways. But I want you to look at what he did. He told Lot, we have these two sides, the eastern side and the western side. Choose where you want to go. You go first. He did not demonstrate greed. He allowed Lot to make the first choice. When he was allowing Lot to make the first choice, he knew that there was a side that was well endowed, that was fertile, that was rich. If he was an ordinary person, he would have told Lot that he has chosen that other side, so that Lot takes the remaining. But he allowed Lot to go first. And he even knew that Lot is highly likely going to pick that fertile end. And indeed, that is what Lot did. He picked the end that was good, that was fertile. But I want you to look at the attitude of Abram as he allows Lot to pick that side. He graciously settles on the other side, the left side. But he commits to God. And we see God blessing him on that side. He is determined that even though I have not picked the best side according to human standards, I know I can still thrive this other end. And indeed, he went ahead and he thrived. Fellow business people, that is the spirit we need. Times may not always favor us. Circumstances may sometimes frustrate us. But we always must have an attitude that is a winning attitude. An attitude that tells us that things will be okay, that we will not stay down forever, that regardless of what life throws our way as business people, we are still determined to pick up again. May you be encouraged today as a business person, regardless of what your business is facing today. May you always keep that attitude that tomorrow you will rise again. Number 2, we have to be self-driven and hardworking. And I take us to the second entrepreneur, that is Apostle Paul. Apostle Paul, despite being the apostle who did all the work that he did in God's kingdom, is another one who was in the business of making and selling tents. The Bible records him as a tent maker. And we are given a story in the book of Acts chapter 18, where Paul has visited his friends in Corinth who are fellow tent makers. And because he loves work, he did not just go to say hi to them. He found them working, and the Bible records that he also joins them in working. Fellow business people, we cannot afford to be lazy. If we want to achieve excellence in business, we must love work. We must be hardworking in whatever God has enabled us to do in the name of our business. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 4 reminds us that lazy hands bring poverty, but diligent hands make wealth. Colossians 3, that was given to us as our New Testament reading, verse 23, encourages us that whatever we get to do, we have to work heartily, as though we are working for the Lord and not for men. May God enable us to be self-driven and to work hard. Number 3, you have to remember to be generous. I challenge you to look at all thriving entrepreneurs, whether they are kingdom entrepreneurs or not. You will realize that all of them have discovered the secret of generosity. Giving is not optional for kingdom business leaders. As we go towards the path of excellence, we must begin to realize the special place that philanthropy has in the place of kingdom business people. Of course, I'm not saying that you give out your business stock. I am not saying that you sell out everything and distribute everything. It has to be done with wisdom. But I'm saying we must be deliberate to remember that as we budget for our businesses, and the last time I got a chance to be here to speak about counting the financial cost, I reminded us that a good Christian budget must have an element called God. Therefore, as we budget for our businesses, we should remember as kingdom business people to remember the aspect of giving. On that point of generosity, I bring on board a third entrepreneur in the Bible, a lady named Lydia. Lydia was a kingdom entrepreneur. She used to sell purple cloth. Purple cloth was not your ordinary cloth. Purple cloth was a royal cloth. That's why up to date we still use purple as the color of royalty. She was an entrepreneur dealing in purple cloth. We meet Lydia at the point where Paul and Silas, Paulo and Sila, are in their ministry. And they get to encounter Lydia. And after Lydia listening to what they were teaching about in God's kingdom, Lydia is pushed to welcome them to her house. Lydia feels these servants of God need to visit my house. She extends her generosity to them and does not even give them chance to say no. If you read Acts chapter 16, verse 13 to 15, you realize that she pushed them to go to her house. Kingdom business people, let us remember the place of generosity. Number 4, we must remember to embrace integrity and fairness. Kingdom business people are people whose words and deeds are one. They can be reconciled. They are not people whose mouth says this and their actions point in the other direction. Kingdom business people also believe in fairness. They are not greedy, as we saw in the case of Abraham. They are patient. Proverbs 16 verse 8 reminds us that better a little with righteousness than much gain with injustice. Leviticus 19 verse 35 to 36 reminds us that you shall do no wrong in judgment of length, in judgment of weight, and in judgment of quantity. You shall have honest scales. Wale ambao tunatumia ratili. We shall have honest weights. We shall have honest ephah. We shall have honest hin. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. Kwa hivyo wale jamaa wanauza viazi kwa barabara, those who keep being featured in the news, wale wanajua kupanga viazi kwa ndoo kuanzia katikati, alafu inafura huku juu, lakini akikumwagia kwa gunia unapata unaenda ukishangaa ilikuwa imejaa ama haikujaa. Now you can be able to define them whether they are kingdom business people or not. Wale jamaa wa butchery wa kucheza na weighing scale. At some point, some time back, I encountered a butchery guy who would cut, you see that stone that the old scales used to use for 1 kg. Now, because you can't get a smaller stone, they would use the hacksaw, spend a whole time cutting that stone huku kwa base, ndio atoe ka piece, so that wewe ukikuja unaona mawe ni ya 1 kg, lakini yeye anajua hapa kuna grams kama 150 zimetolewa. Those are not kingdom business people. Number 5. For us to achieve excellence in kingdom business, we must remember to be courageous and resilient. Kingdom business people who want to achieve excellence are not driven by fear. They are willing to take calculated risks. They are driven by Philippians 4:13 that reminds all of us that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. That is what drives us in kingdom business. One of the things I love about business is that businesses will keep strengthening you. Businesses will keep growing your resilience. Business toughens you. You know, as business people, we wake up in the morning, we don't know how the day will go. Those of us that are running trading businesses, you open your shop, you have no clue how the day will go. You don't know whether a customer will walk in or will not walk in. We work by faith. Business has given us a thick skin. There are some things that don't scare us. But we are called to be courageous and resilient. Fellow business people, it may not be easy, but with God's help, it is doable. Proverbs 24:16 reminds us, for the righteous falls 7 times, but rises again. We will rise again, regardless of what your business might be going through today. Regardless of what you are facing today as a business person. We are resilient people as business people. We will come up again. We will rise again. Number 6. To excel as kingdom business people, we must remember to promote your business without shame. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15. Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth. Every time I interact with business people, in my trainings with entrepreneurs, I have constantly reminded business people not to be ashamed of their businesses. Don't be ashamed of your business. I know it's part of the injection I spoke about in the beginning. That sometimes you feel you're not in the right place. As long as your business is legit, don't be ashamed of it. Talk about it. Tell us about what you do without shame. Don't get tired. Talk about your business. Wacha sisi tukuseme. Huyu anapenda kuongea sana kuhusu biashara yake. Leave that to us. Talk about your business. Tell us about it. I realized one thing, that in the world of business, a good product that is not or poorly marketed will be outsold by a bad product that is well marketed. Therefore, you might be having the best product, but as long as you are sitting on it, not telling the world about it, we will not know. We will continue buying those others. Hata wewe unashangaa, na nini nawapelekanga huko? It's because we know about huko and we don't know about you. Talk about your business. Number 7, and the last tip for today. For us to achieve excellence in business as kingdom business leaders, we must remember to connect with God. Connect with God. God is the owner of our businesses as kingdom business people. We are only his stewards. He calls us in Psalm 37 verse 4 to delight in him, and he'll give us the desires of our hearts. Tell him the desires that you have in your business after you delight in him. He reminds us in Proverbs 16:3 to commit our works unto him, and our thoughts shall be established. When times get tough, fellow business people, we have the advantage of crying to God. At least we know God. We have that advantage. Let us strengthen our relationship with God. Let us learn to trust and obey him. Brothers and sisters, I will leave us with the words that were read to us in today's Psalm, Psalm 112. Psalm 112 summarizes the 7 points that I've just shared. And I will read as I close. Praise the Lord. Blessed is the man who fears the Lord, who greatly delights in his commandments. His offsprings will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed. Wealth and riches are in his house, and his righteousness endures forever. Light dawns in the darkness for the upright. He is gracious, merciful, and righteous. It is well with the man who deals generously and lends, who conducts his affairs with justice. For the righteous will never be moved. He will be remembered forever. He is not afraid of bad news. His heart is firm, trusting in the Lord. His heart is steady. He will not be afraid until he looks in triumph on his adversaries. He has distributed freely. He has given to the poor. His righteousness endures forever. His horn is exalted in honor.